Hello, thoughtful and creative minds. Let us journey back far before our own time to a place both alien and deeply familiar. Imagine a world suspended in a vast, silent cold, a universe encased in ice where stillness reigns supreme. Here there are no continents, no oceans as we know them, and certainly no humans. Instead, within this frozen expanse, a single colossal cell drifts in the quiet dark. It is a solitary pioneer, a cosmic vessel holding the most precious of cargoes. This is the Genesis, the very first incubator of what is to come, a fragile promise of life held within a crystalline prison, waiting for a warmth that has not yet arrived. Inside this monumental cell, the seeds of existence stir. Drifting in the protoplasmic sea are the fundamental blueprints of life, the delicate architecture of what will one day become a complex being. We see the gentle, rhythmic pulse of a nascent heart, the intricate branching of future veins, and the soft, folded tissues of a brain in its earliest form. Here, floating with an almost ethereal grace, is the human reproductive system. It is a potential held in stasis, a silent orchestra waiting for its conductor. The world outside is impossibly harsh, a landscape of frozen, jagged edges, but within this cellular sanctuary, the dream of life persists against the overwhelming odds. The environment is one of profound and penetrating cold. The very molecules of the cell's internal sea seem to move with a sluggish reluctance, chilled to their core by the eternal winter that presses in from all sides. Light is a distant memory, a forgotten concept in this realm of shadow and frost. The silence is absolute, broken only by the faint internal hum of processes, slowed almost to a halt. It is a world on the very brink of non-existence, where the slightest drop in temperature could extinguish the flickering ember of life forever. This is a story of survival in the most extreme conditions imaginable, a testament to life's incredible tenacity. Yet, even in this desolate landscape, change is stirring. The universe is never truly static, and forces beyond this tiny, isolated world are beginning to exert their influence. The cell, a lone arc in a sea of ice, is not entirely alone. Microscopic beings, ancient and resilient, are drawn to its faint warmth, its promise of sanctuary. They are the first pilgrims, the vanguard of a coming transformation. The stage is set for an encounter that will alter the course of this miniature world, an alliance that will forge a shield against the endless cold and pave the way for the miracle of creation to finally unfold in all its glory. From the frozen darkness, tiny visitors emerge. They are the magneto-bacteria, ancient swimmers guided by an invisible sense. Each one is a living compass, a microscopic speck that feels the pull of unseen forces, navigating the void with an instinct as old as the cosmos itself. They travel in swarms, drawn by the faint energetic signature of the great cell. They are not invaders with malicious intent, but rather they are seekers of shelter and symbiosis. These humble organisms carry within them a profound secret, a power that can bend the very fabric of their environment. They are the keepers of the magnetic flame, and they have arrived at the cradle of life. Inside the great cell, an early form of an immune system already exists. It is a simple but vigilant network, a patrol of guardian cells tasked with protecting the precious cargo within. Initially, they perceive the arriving bacteria as a potential threat, a foreign presence in their sanctified space. A silent, microscopic confrontation begins. The guardian cells move to intercept the newcomers, preparing to defend their home against the unknown. But this is not a battle for destruction. It is a negotiation, a dance of approach and assessment, as two different forms of life meet for the very first time in the quiet depths of the primordial sea. A remarkable fusion takes place. The magneto-bacteria do not fight. Instead, they offer a gift. They begin to merge with the immune cells, integrating their own unique abilities into the host's defensive systems. The bacteria's innate magnetism is shared, their internal compasses becoming a new sensory organ for the guardian cells. It is an act of profound and peaceful union. The immune system, in turn, provides the bacteria with sustenance and a stable home, a haven from the unforgiving cold outside. Together, they become something new and far more powerful than they were apart. They become a living, breathing shield. This new alliance fundamentally changes the cell's ability to survive. the newly empowered immune cells, now infused with magnetic potential, begin to generate a protective field. It is a nascent magnetosphere, a gentle, invisible cloak that wraps around the delicate reproductive system at the cell's core. This shield deflects the harshest energies of the frozen void, creating a pocket of relative stability and warmth. The alliance was not an act of war, but of creation. It was the moment life learned to build its own armor, to forge a defense not from matter, but from the invisible forces that govern the universe itself. Let us now zoom deeper into the very heart of the great cell, to its nucleus. This is the command center, the sacred library where the blueprints of life are stored. Here, within this inner sanctum, a breathtaking spectacle unfolds. Swirling energies, born from the new magnetic alliance, take on forms of exquisite beauty. They are like ethereal fish, creatures made not of flesh and bone, but of pure light and force. Streams of golden electricity and shimmering blue magnetism glide and weave through the nuclear plasma. They chase each other in silent, elegant arcs, their movements painting the darkness with transient trails of light, a ballet of fundamental forces. These fish-like forms of energy begin to coalesce. They are drawn to one another, their swirling motions creating vortices that pull them closer. Two streams, one of electric gold and one of magnetic blue, spiral together, their energies merging until they form a perfect glowing sphere. This new sphere pulses with a steady rhythmic light, a tiny self-contained world of balanced power. It is the first magnetosphere, a miniature shield born from the dance of opposites. Soon more and more energy fish join in this cosmic ballet, and the nucleus begins to fill with these radiant, pulsating orbs of light and magnetism. The spheres do not remain solitary for long. They begin a grander dance, a process of growth and multiplication. Drawn by an irresistible attraction, the smaller spheres drift towards one another, their fields interacting and merging. When they touch, they fuse into a larger, more brilliant sphere, its light growing in intensity. This larger sphere then acts as a gravitational center, pulling in yet more of its smaller brethren. The process repeats, a magnificent aggregation that forms a vast, shimmering bait ball of pure energy at the center of the nucleus. It is a celestial body in miniature, a growing sun that illuminates the entire cell from within. This pattern of merging and growing is a fractal, repeating itself on ever-small scales. If we could look even closer, we would see that each individual sphere is itself a bait ball of even tinier spheres, and within those the pattern repeats again and again, down to the very edge of perception, down to the atomic level where the dance of electrons and protons mirrors the grand ballet of the magnetospheres. It is a universe of self-similarity, a testament to a single, elegant design echoing through every layer of existence. The bait ball is not just a shield, it is a reflection of the infinite complexity and interconnectedness of life itself. For an eon, the bait ball pulsed in steady, harmonious rhythm. Its protective energy radiated outwards, creating a stable haven where the intricate processes of life could slowly, patiently continue their work. The great cell drifted through the frozen void, cocooned in its self-generated warmth, a beacon of order in a universe of cold chaos. The dance of the spheres was predictable, a comforting cycle of merge and grow, pulse and glow. The internal world was secure, its magnetic shield holding firm against the pressures of the outside. It seemed this gentle stasis could last for eternity, a timeless peace in the heart of the ice. But the universe is a place of sudden and dramatic change. Far beyond the confines of the cell, a colossal event was unfolding, a force of unimaginable power. Perhaps the birth of a distant star or the collapse of a cosmic giant sent a shockwave of gravitational energy racing through the void. This was a pull unlike anything the cell had ever experienced, a silent, invisible tide that warped the very fabric of space around it. The delicate balance that had been so carefully established was about to be put to the ultimate test. The peaceful dance was about to be violently interrupted by a force from the outside. The external pull gripped the bait ball with immense force. The spheres within, which had spun in a unified, harmonious direction for ages, were suddenly wrenched in the opposite direction. The entire structure shuddered, its light flickering violently. The elegant dance became a chaotic scramble as the magnetic poles of every single sphere, from the largest to the smallest, were torn from their alignment. It was a moment of profound crisis, a tearing of the internal fabric. The golden and blue energies that had once swirled in perfect harmony were now locked in a titanic struggle, one pulling against the other. Then, with a silent, cataclysmic shift, it happened. The magnetic field of the entire baseball inverted. North became south and south became north. A wave of energy, raw and untamed, blasted outwards from the nucleus, momentarily overloading the shield. The great cell bucked and trembled in the icy darkness, but the shield did not break. It held. The inversion, though violent, had forged a new, more dynamic stability. The dance began anew, but it was different now, more complex, more resilient. Life had faced its first great cosmic storm, and in surviving the great inversion, it had become stronger than ever before.